Welcome to our weekly global podcast. So, I want to officially announce a new topic, a very fresh, interesting, and powerful topic. We'll be talking about why every pastor should write a book. Let me begin with a short story. Many years ago, a young believer found an old, dusty book in his grandfather's house. The book had no fancy cover. The pages were old and slightly torn. But inside that book were the sermons and teachings of a pastor who had died many years earlier. That young believer began to read it, and something very powerful happened. The words pierced his heart. The teachings answered questions he had struggled with for many years. The wisdom in the book guided him through seasons of confusions, and suddenly he realized something. The pastor who wrote that book had been dead for years, yet he was still preaching. Now that is the power of a book. A book allows your voice to travel beyond time, distance, and generations. Sadly, many pastors preach very powerful messages every week, but those messages disappear once the service ends. But imagine if those revelations were captured in books. So today, we'll talk about why every pastor should write a book. Number 6 will shock you. Number 1, books preserve divine revelations. Every pastor receives divine inspirations, divine revelations from God, insights from God through prayer, studies, and divine experiences, everyday experiences of life. But if those revelations are not documented, they can easily be lost. In the Bible, God Himself instructed His servants to write. If you study the book of Revelation, you will see, to the angel of the church in Sardis, write. To the angel of the church in Philadelphia, write. To the angel of the church in Ephesus, write. Write down the vision. Write. What God told the prophets in the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Mind you, God didn't say only speak the vision or preach the vision. He also said write it. Why? Because written revelations travel farther and last longer. Most pastors preach life-changing messages, but once the service ends, the message disappears. But when it becomes a book, it can impact thousands of people the pastor may never meet. Books extend your ministry beyond geography, beyond your geographical location, beyond your congregation. A pastor can only preach in one place at a time, but a book can travel across nations of the earth. The Apostle Paul understood this very well. Most of what we know about his teachings today comes from letters he wrote, talking about the Apostle Paul. Those letters later became books of the Bible, like epistles to the Romans, 1st and 2nd epistles to the Corinthians, 1st and 2nd epistles to the Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd epistle to Timothy his son, epistles to the Philippians, epistles to the believers in Galatia, and many others. Paul could not physically visit every church every day, but through writing, his teaching reached the Roman Empire. Now here is the amazing part. Over 2,000 years afterwards, we are still reading his letters, his books, till today. There is no believer that would ever claim ignorance of the impact of the writings of Paul. In fact, of all the New Testament books written, all of them are all impactful, but Paul's writing stood out. He wrote the highest number of books in the Bible among the disciples of Jesus Christ, and his writings were so powerful. You carry a heavy anointing, a very serious anointing, and you've been preaching, releasing, utterances, rhema on God's people, transforming lives. Now, your impact will multiply if you can track those rhemas in a book. If you can track those rhemas in a book, you will not just transform your immediate congregation, you will be able to transform the whole world. Even after you have gone, your work will continue to preach to your generation, preach to the earth, and continue to win souls even after you have gone. That's the power of writing a book as a pastor, as a Christian leader. Right now, as I speak to you, I have readers in Zimbabwe, I have readers in Cameroon, I have readers scattered all over Nigeria. I've never been to Cameroon all my life. I've never been to Cameroon before. I've never been to Zimbabwe before. But my book is right now in Zimbabwe, preaching to somebody. My book is right now in Cameroon, preaching to somebody. The Bible was not written in Nigeria. It was written somewhere around the world. Yet it's all over the world today, preaching to lives. Something will happen if you track down those remas, those inspirations, those revelations you received at the feet of Jesus Christ in the course of your relationship, fellowship with Him. He taught you something that has transformed your life. It's important you push it out to your generation. You will be multiplying your impact that way. Number 3, books multiply the impact of your voice. One sermon may reach a few hundred people, but one book can reach thousands and thousands and thousands. Thousands is even an understatement. And here, this author has become a best-selling author, or this book is a bestseller. It has sold millions and millions. It means millions of people bought that book and read it. So your sermon can reach 100, just 100 of people, or a handful. But your book can reach millions and even billions of people all over the world. A sermon is heard once, but a book can be read over and over and over again. In the second epistle to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 2, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, Paul told Timothy, "The things you have heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who can teach others also." This is the principle of multiplication. Teaching must move from one person to more people, to many other people, and so on and so forth. Books makes this multiplication possible. Your teachings can continue to disciple people even after the sermon has ended. Number 4, books build authority and legacy. That's the most important part of it. Authority and legacy. Number 6 will shock you, so stay till the end. I told you we were discussing 6 points, 6 reasons why every pastor should write a book. Number 6 will shock you. Books build authority and legacy. When a pastor writes a book, it positions him as a voice of wisdom. Begin to see that the pastor carries insights worth documenting. Many of the great Christian leaders we study today left their teachings in books. Some of them are still alive. For instance, I've never seen Joyce Meyer before, but I've read a lot of her books. I've never seen T.D. Jakes before, but I've read a number of his books. I met Reinhard Bonnke. I met him before he finally left the earth. But I've read some of his books too. But before I was able to see him physically, I saw his books too. Joyce Meyer has never spoken to me, but her book has so transformed my life. In fact, the kind of impartation her books, the kind of anointing inside her book. My goodness. If you need spiritual revival, just go pick those books written by all of these anointed men and women of God. The likes of Reinhard Bonnke, the likes of Bishop Francis Waloke, the likes of Joyce Meyer, the likes of Dr. Pastor Paul Enenche, the likes of Bishop David Oyedepo. All of these fathers of faith, Adeboye, and every anointed man of God that inspires, pick their book and read it. And revival will come upon your head immediately, upon your life. Sermons were powerful, but their books preserved their legacy. Book becomes part of your ministry's footprint on the earth. After a pastor goes to be with the Lord, his books continue to teach, guide, and transform lives. This is exactly what happened to many biblical authors. Moses wrote the first book of the Bible. David wrote many psalms in the book of Psalms. Solomon wrote wisdom literature like Book of Proverbs. I think he also wrote Songs of Solomon. He was the one that wrote Songs of Solomon. Now, their voices are still shaping the world today. Write your book. Number 5, books reach people who will never enter your church. People that will never enter your church, but through your books, they can get that which God has put in your life for the world. There are many people who will never attend your church, but they might read your book. A book can enter places a pulpit cannot. For instance, it can sit on someone's bedside table. It can be read in a hospital. It can be read in someone's bedroom. Yet your pulpit cannot enter there. Even there are some hospitals that they normally restrict people coming to preach or pray there. But a book can enter there and reach out, impact the lives of the patients there, of the people there, both the staff, medical staff, and the patients. A book can transform the lives of the people there. It can be read in a prison. It can be read during someone's darkest moments. Your pulpit cannot enter the prison yard, but a book can transform a life inside that place. That's the power of a book. And through those pages, God can speak to that person. Sometimes a single sentence in a book can change someone's entire life. I have experienced this over and over again. God deals with us in different ways. For me, one of the ways He speaks to me is through a book. Back in those days when I just got born again earlier, even up till now, somebody just walk up to me, please read this book. I was led to give you this book. Oh, do you read books? I'd like you to read this book. And you open it and you hear as if God is standing there talking to your ear directly. As if the author saw your life before writing that book. A single sentence in a book can transform someone's entire life. That's the power of writing a book. Now, number 6. I told you number 6 will shock you. Number 6. Books turn messages into movements. Mainly by putting it down. Whatever is written down is more powerful than what is said. Written words are more powerful than words that were just communicated. So when something is written down, it's like an authority. It stands. I told you number 6 will shock you. Books transforms messages to movements. A powerful message preached once is good. When that message becomes a book, it can spark a movement. Books organize ideas. Books structure teachings. Books gives believers something they can study, teach, and share with others. This is why many revivals and moves in history spread through written teachings. Because written words travel far and endure long. Conclusion. Many pastors underestimate the impact their messages carry. The power in the message they received from God. Imagine if the revelation God gave you in prayer, the wisdom from years of ministries, the lesson learned through trials. Imagine if all that was captured in a book. Your book will disciple people you may never meet in life. Your book could answer someone's prayer. Your book could preach long after you have gone. When a pastor writes a book, their voice outlives their lifetime. A question for all the pastors listening to me right now. What if that message God gave to you can continually transform lives 50 years after, 50 years from now, 50 years even after you have gone? Would you write a book? Think about it. If one message God gave you today could still be transforming life 50 years from now, would you write a book? Give it a shot. Now, with this, we have come to the end of this podcast. I'll see you again next week for another exciting and impactful session. Till then, write your book, because I will be glad to publish it for you. And let me use this opportunity to introduce MITA Publishers to us. So in MITA Publishers, we help Christian leaders transform their messages to movements. We bring out the best-selling author in you. We can transform your messages to books that can continually impact lives. Even while you're still alive, you see lives being transformed by the impact of your writings.